thought Dark Shadows was dead. But after 20 years, like any good vampire, the 60s series has come back to life.
Action.
NBC is reincarnating Dark Shadows as a new primetime show that will begin airing this year.
Cut.
Like the old series, the new show focuses on eerie goings-on in Collinsport, Maine. Things like time travel, the occult, and of course, vampires.
I rather like the idea of playing a vampire.
Hey!
Actor Ben Cross of Chariots of Fire fame has the leading role of Barnabas Collins, a part he can sink his teeth into.
I think most actors would love to play a vampire because it's the opportunity to, I mean, you can be totally over the top if there's any kind of ham in you.
I said, what are you doing here?
Ben Cross realizes that he will of course be compared to the original Barnabas, Jonathan Frid, who had a cult following, as did the original show, which aired from 1966 to 1971.
Today.
And that there are a lot of people who, for whom 4 o'clock on a weekday afternoon was very, very important.
Among those fans of the old show, some cast members of the new Dark Shadows.
Well, I used to watch Dark Shadows as a child, and it's responsible for all of my neuroses as an adult. To this day, I won't sleep with my hand hanging over the side of the bed, thinking that something's going to munch it off.
As a child, I was not allowed to watch it, but I remember seeing it once in a while when I went over friends' houses, and it was very scary.
You mustn't leave me. You're never going to leave me.
No!
Never!
No!
The new cast and NBC are well aware the old series on ABC had a huge and loyal audience.
Action.
So the new show will follow the same basic plot.
It's precisely the way it was originally.
How extraordinary.
Well, not quite, Barnabas. The story may be similar, but the look will be, well, a little less hokey.
It's 25 years ago, and styles have changed, television has changed. The audience has become more sophisticated. So we use special effects, and we don't have sets that shake.
What is it?
Indeed, the original Dark Shadows was known for its low-budget special effects. Props like these fangs that are really just two fake fingernails attached to her teeth, and it's sometimes awkward acting.
Mr. Dufresne, I'll be happy to show you your room now. Very good, sir.
Not to mention questionable camera work.
I have a feeling that most people who are fans of the original are going to be delightfully surprised at how beautiful this show looks.
What a beautiful piece.
The new show will be shot on film, with more sophisticated sets, and with one more trademark of TV in the 90s.
It's very sexy.
There are certainly some grown-up erotic scenes.
So what do you say, good looking? How about giving a lady a lift home?
You can go much further sexually than you could back then. And interestingly enough, we've gone fairly far, but the network is egging us on to go a little further.
Director Paul Lynch says it's no secret Dark Shadows hopes to benefit from the popularity of last year's cult hit, Twin Peaks.
And hopefully, in its wake will come other shows. I think we're one of those kind of shows. We don't fit a genre. We're not a detective show. We're not a lawyer show. We're not really a people show. We're a different kind of unique show, and hopefully that's what the audience is looking for.
We'll find out if America's ready to resurrect Dark Shadows, or if, like a sleeping vampire, the audience will decide to let the old show rest in peace.
Well, the Dark Shadows show last night did pretty well in the ratings.
I was one of the people that was watching it.
You're one of the thousands, huh?
That's right.
And you know, Brian, the success of this new show just might hinge on whether fans of the old show like what they see.
Well, right now, John is going to introduce us to 3 Northwest women who count themselves among the thousands of fans devoted to the original show.
About what?
All I knew was it was another world. They went through the door to get there, and there were all these people that looked the same, but they were different.
These 3 Northwesterners are members of the worldwide Dark Shadows fandom, an organized network of fans of the original show. Today, they have gathered at the Keenan House Bed and Breakfast in Tacoma to talk about a show that worked its way into their hearts at a very young age.
I was one of those kids you run home from school to watch it because I'm a little older than these 2 ladies.
May Sutherland started watching when she was 2 1/2.
I got into it originally because my older sister got into it. She was 9 years older than I was.
And Judy Sutherland wasn't even born when the show was on, but that doesn't matter to her.
It's really got a timeless quality to it that lasts.
These three are so into the show, they publish a Dark Shadows fan magazine and surround themselves with anything and everything that is Dark Shadows.
This is a mint condition one.
Their collections include everything from albums to music boxes to bubblegum cards.
Big thing is these are highly collectible. They're hard to find, and you could get them 5 for a nickel with a piece of bubblegum, and now they're selling for $2 and $3 a piece. So they're quite collectible.
It's quite obvious these three are devoted to the memory of the old show, but we wanted to get their impressions of the new series.
You've come back.
They liked the new special effects, but thought the violence went too far.
Let's just put it this way. If I were about 4 or 5 years old today, I think that it might scare me. I like the
Connie thinks the new show has potential.
There's definitely a Dark Shadows feel to it. Definitely. I definitely got a Dark Shadows feel from it.
But they all feel it's very similar to another new show.
Yeah, it does kind of look like Twin Peaks.
So while these three fans are eager to see more of the new, their devotion to the original is undying.
Is there any chance the new Dark Shadows will replace the old Dark Shadows?
No, absolutely not. I think that answer was probably unexpected.
Hollywood can add all the special effects and sex appeal it wants, but for thousands of fans, the original will always remain closest to their hearts, like a favorite haunting melody.
Well, as we said earlier, part 2 of the Dark Shadows miniseries is going to air tonight right here on King TV.
And then the show will move to its regular time slot, which is Friday nights at 9 o'clock right here on King.
Now stay with